And I saw three unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet, for they are the spirits of devils working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world to gather them to battle of that great day of God Almighty. Not much really has to be said in this broadcast that I just got done listening to. Here at the 33-minute and 30-second mark of this broadcast from very well-known Christian journalist, Trunews, Rick Wiles. A lot of people know who he is. He's got a very, very huge audience of a vast majority of different denominations, worldwide, mind you. Um, had a very interesting guest on, and whom he was not really disagreeing with, or was he sounded very accepting of everything that this guy had to say. Well, who was his guest? Today's guest is Evangelical Episcopal Bishop Anthony Palmer. Rick and Bishop Palmer discussed the historic Roman Catholic outreach to Protestant evangelical Christians. Bishop Palmer is the facilitator who delivered an iPhone video message from Pope Francis to the Kenneth Copeland Ministries annual ministers conference, and this got a huge buzz among different Protestant denominations, uh, mainly from the Seventh Day or Sabbath keeping denominations, mind you, and there's a lot of people that listen to Rick Wiles, and there's a lot of people that are fundamentalist Protestants that listen to Rick Wiles, and what Bishop Palmer is about to say here should have had Rick Wiles fuming. You would think he would be fuming at what was going. You would have thought that he would have stopped him right in his tracks and said, "Hey, wait a minute." This can't be. You can't be saying this. But no, he was in perfect dialogue. He didn't stop him at all. And this is right at the 30-second part of this broadcast. You should go on and listen to the whole broadcast. I mean, it's fast. It's amazing. And well, I'm gonna stop talking here, and I'll let you listen for yourself.
How and when did you first come to know the man who is known to the world today as Pope Francis?
Pope Francis, I met him in 2008 in Buenos Aires. And we were down there with Matteo and the Catholic fraternity with our ecumenical delegation, and we were doing some work among Protestants, evangelicals, and the charismatic Catholic renewal. And we had to go visit him because he was at that stage the Archbishop of Buenos Aires, and it's protocol for us to visit the bishop before we work in his diocese. And we met him, and he asked each one of us in our delegation to share our personal testimony of our lives and how we came to faith. And I met him through that meeting because when I got to the point that my wife and children are Roman Catholics, they are charismatic Catholics, and I'm an evangelical Anglican, he took me aside and he said, "You live in ecumenism at a very intimate level." And I said, "I am." And he offered a friendship to me at that meeting, and we continued an individual friendship between the two of us, other than being part of the delegation.
He comes across as a very humble, gracious man.
Oh, come on, he's Jesus in the flesh. Oh, come on, he's Jesus in the flesh. Oh, come on, he's Jesus in the flesh. And I mean that in the most humblest and holiest ways. He puts on the image of Christ each morning, and he is a humble man. He's a kind man. He's astute. He's wise. He's sharp-minded. He's gracious. He really is, for me, he's not just because of being the Pope or being a spiritual father to me, as an example for us today as Christians. he is somebody we can point to and say, I'm proud to have a leader who represents Christ in such an explicit way.
Now, and
Now, you caught that. Now, from this point on, it just gets very interesting because here you have Bishop Palmer just flat out just say that Pope Francis is Jesus in the flesh, and he means it in the most humbling of ways, and and how he's so kind. I mean, just the way he just elevated the Pope. I mean, obviously he's the vicar of Christ. I mean, folks, this is Antichrist. This is that man of sin, okay, and who calls himself another god on earth. He puts on the image of Christ every day and all this kind of stuff. This is speaking out of the mouth of the serpent like no other. And here Rick Wiles is in dialogue with the whore. How else can I say it? I mean, this is, I've always been kind of leery of Rick Wiles, by the way he keeps on pushing, I need $2,000 by July, or by the way he kept on pushing how he needs this much money for this, and that. That was one thing. But here you have somebody that has supposedly come out of mainstream Christianity that is yoked up with the whore, the mother, and yet now you're seeing the influx of the internet community of Christianity starting to go back to mommy. And obviously he did not disagree with this statement. I sure hope that there might be a rebuttal on the 522 episode of this. But I can almost guarantee you, just by this fact alone, just by this statement alone, something wicked this way comes, and I can guarantee you that if he keeps going down this road, Trunews is going to be a haven for spiritual wickedness. Truth be told, truth be known. Stay safe. God bless. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.